Let's now look at one of our headline stories. And the Ghana Association of Persons with Albinism wants the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Culture to call for an interministerial dialogue with the National House of Chiefs to end cultural banishment of albinos in some communities. The association also wants government to include sun care products, dermatological and optical services onto the National Health Insurance Scheme for its members.
There are over 2,571 registered persons with albinism in Ghana. Majority of these numbers are economically marginalized and cannot afford health care. Speaking at a press conference to mark International Albinism Awareness Day, the Association of Persons with Albinism said its members face discrimination and human rights abuse, adding the right to education for persons with albinism is affected by low vision, forcing some to drop out of school.
The worst experience of discrimination against persons with albinism is dehumanization, which lays the foundation for physical attacks against us. Because some people believe that persons with albinism are magical beings or ghosts. They often or either mutilate us, or they eventually kill us for ritual purposes. The Ministry of Chieftaincy and Culture to call for interministerial dialogue with relevant institutions in the national houses of chiefs on cultural banishment against persons with albinism in Ghana.
Engage Now Africa and the Association of Persons with Albinism noted Ghana has no clear-cut policies and programs to ensure that persons with albinism have access to adequate health care, employment, education, justice and social protection.
Government needs to mention albinism and disability issues in all levels of the educational system. It is important to know that two textbooks
We apologize for the distortion in the sound there, but let's stay a bit on this. And I've been joined on Zoom by Newton Kacheku, who's the director of the Ghana Association of Persons with Albinism. And then also we'll have Dr. Samson Obedapia also joining us via Zoom as well. But let me start with you, Newton. Good evening to you, if you can hear me now. We know the concerns that persons with albinism are faced with in this country, but one thing that we haven't spent time talking about is the cultural banishment of albinos in some communities in Ghana. How widespread is this situation?
Thank you very much, sir, for having me, and good evening to your cherished viewers. Yes, it's true that the issue around cultural banishment has not been tapped as Ghanaians, and we have failed to check whether it is true, whether it happens. But it is true that cultural banishment persists in Ghana and in selected communities. And our survey reveals that communities within some 5 districts banish persons with albinism based on their cultural system. So based on that, we conducted a research and we submitted a report to SHRAJ for immediate action. SHRAJ indicated to us that yes, they have also conducted an independent investigation around the issue that we have raised, and they wanted to meet us and have a discussion. But before their meeting, it's been a year now, so we're calling the Chieftaincy Ministry to organize or arrange for a dialogue, interministerial dialogue, where these sort of cultural reforms that we raised per the petition that we sent to them will be resolved. So basically, yes, it is true. This is what we have petitioned.
I see, but I asked about how widespread this is. Are you able to tell like specific communities, regions, where this situation exists, where there's cultural banishment? I mean, albinos are not accepted or allowed in some communities. If you could be very specific for us.
Yes, we have specification. We have Eastern region, for instance. We have Western region. We have Ukti region, and we have Kani in the Upper West region. So these are the regions that we have cut across. And when we come to Eastern region, we have communities around Sojaman, within the Sojaman district. We have a Kwewu area. We have Abasi also in the Bono East region. Yes. And we also have issues around Latte, that is Kwapem North. We have Deu and Okuga also come into the limelight. We have Western Region Elembele district, one of the districts in Elembele. So they are spread out in the country.
I see. Very interesting development there. Stay with me, Newton. I've been joined on the telephone by Dr. Samson Obedapia. He's a lecturer at the Sociology Department of the University of Ghana, Legon as well. Doc, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. I want to understand what exactly is the consideration underpinning this cultural banishment of albinos, which according to Newton is quite widespread. He's mentioned about 8 out of the 16 regions we have in this country.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers and your listeners. Unfortunately, the Zoom network was not very comfortable.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think I've listened to Newton, and I also read part of the story during this week. And I mean, it's quite unfortunate. And let me start by saying that culture is dynamic and not static. Now, these are cultural beliefs that we were handed over by our forefathers and our the elders in society. You know, in today's society, where our forefathers or ancestors were unable to understand some biological development, they tend to attach some mysteries and art to it. So, for instance, you know, in today's society in the past, twins were regarded as evil. Twins were put in evil forests and were not allowed to come to society. Same applies to even albinos and co, because their biological development, and these are things that are biologically explained. So because our forefathers and our elders in the past could understand the dynamism and the biological development of these people, they were considered as evil, and some traditional practices and beliefs are attached to them. In fact, you know, about 2 or 4 years ago, there was even a case in which when a former Minister of Children's Affairs, Dana received that. You remember that story? So that Dana was prevented from seeing some chips, because the traditional belief is that a blind person must not breathe a chip.
Absolutely.
Remember that story very well, yeah?
Yes.
So these are traditional beliefs that I believe, I mean, society has passed on. We know that today, as we speak now traditionally, twins were not supposed to be made chiefs. I hope you know about that. But today we realize that in some societies, for example, these things are being discarded. Now I know of 2 or 3 twins who were made chiefs. One in the water is a very prominent chief, and the water who is a thief. So I mean, so I believe that we are moving as a society where these things must be, I mean, some of these practices must be looked at again. Because the case of albinos is a bit unfortunate, because apart from the fact that they are not allowed to go traditional councils or reach you, you know, there's a lot of discrimination against them. I mean, in some countries like Tanzania, they are being killed for rituals. We have seen some in a part of the...
Which is a fact. Doc, yes. You know, so I just wanted to end with this quick one. So you have acknowledged the evolution and the dynamism of culture, and the fact that these areas where albinos are reported to be prevented from even going to these communities have to change. Yes. Who has to lead that conversation of these communities accepting and embracing the evolution of culture as we speak?
So I think that we can think on the national level. I think the nation, parliament, and the state must begin to put in legislation to begin to recognize the rights of these people. Second, the chief council institution is very powerful in society, must play a role. The chiefs must begin to understand that these are also normal parts of society. Like, for example, if a chief gives birth to albino, would they treat a child like that? Then thirdly, we as individuals, our individual levels, our community level, must also begin to embrace them as normal part of society.
Right. Dr. Pia, thank you very much for your recommendations on it. Really appreciate it. He's a lecturer at the Sociology Department at the University of Ghana, Legon. And Newton, finally, you indicated that you had engaged the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice on this. They have actually conducted a report confirming that indeed some of your persons living with albinism are prevented from living in some communities. So what is the way forward? What are they doing with the details of the report that they know now?
Yes, let me also put on record that we are yet to, the report is yet to be published or handed over to association for immediate thing. But again, before that, we also petitioned the National House of Chiefs, even the Parliament. Parliament was also involved in the process. So we have also petitioned, and we're just waiting for the full report. When it's made public, we'll have that discussion. That is why we're calling on the Chieftaincy Ministry and then the National House of Chiefs to begin that advocacy work. Again, let me also put on record, yes, some chiefs has attempted to come to the aid of the association by calling for some reforms within their palaces or their communities. But you know, it doesn't take one person to do that reform.
That's right.
So when you're leading that crusade as a chief, if you don't take time, you know the consequences. Well,
absolutely.
That's why some of them have been very much reluctant. So we're looking forward that if it started from the national level to the district and then to the community level, I think we'll have a way through.
It certainly had to start from a point. Thank you.